Hello and welcome to this presentation of Mobile2Sage. My name is Ara Martirossian and I'm going to show you how you can share and update your Sage 50 data and reports with your remote users on the iPad. So if you want to have a go yourself, then please feel free to go to the Mobile2Sage website that I've shown at the top, register your interest, and you'll get an email so that you can try this on your own iPhone or iPad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export some Sage data and then import that on the iPad. So let's go and kick that off, and then I'll, whilst that's doing that in the background, so I'll just press literally one button. That's going to go and update all of the Sage reports and the Sage data that I'm going to be sending to my iPad. So what's it doing? In the background, what it's doing is it's going off and it's looking at the latest customers, suppliers, prices, products, in fact, all the things that I use in the Mobile2Sage application, and it's creating those. It's also running any of the Sage reports that I decide I want to share with my users. So you don't have to rewrite any of those in other applications. You can just use the standard Sage reports and decide who gets what, and then you can then just get the system to automatically generate those using the Sage report scheduler, which is one of our modules with Mobile2Sage, and then that will then produce PDFs or send CSVs out or send emails, and it can do that outside of business hours. So you could run this overnight at 3-4 in the morning, and then all of the data will be ready for your reps so that they can then just automatically update that first thing in the morning. And types of reports you might share with your sales reps might be things like, customer balances, outstanding invoices, product availability, latest price lists, and so on. And we'll look at some of those on the iPad in a minute. And then the process would be that the users on their iPads would then open the application up and press the update button, and they would get the latest Sage data and reports. And that's what we're going to look at in a minute. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about Mobile2Sage. So Mobile2Sage is an infrastructure which allows you to share information both in and out of Sage with your remote users. Now, those remote users will be using iPhones and iPads most of the time, but this could also be used to share information with people using PCs, Macs, or browsers. The system works both online and offline, and it can also use cellular networks like 3G and 4G. It also works on any version of Sage, so you don't need to upgrade. What are the key features? Well, remote users on iPhones and iPads can create things like quotations, sales orders, and product invoices, as well as things like purchase orders, assuming they've got the authority to do so. Timesheets and iPhones and iPads are ideal for remote users to putting in things like timesheets and expenses. And once those timesheets have been put in, those can then be automatically imported into Sage 50 projects. iPhones and iPads come equipped with a very good camera, so that camera can then be used to scan barcodes and use that to in things like fashion industry or the food industry to create product invoices, as well as capture things like product traceability and batch traceability. The electronic screens on the iPhones and iPads are touch sensitive, so that then allows you to also capture signatures. So I don't know, if someone's putting a timesheet in, you can get them to sign it, or if they're putting expenses in, you can make sure they sign it with their finger to make sure it's them who's submitting that transaction. And the system then, the Mobile2Sage system then also syncs with the Sage 50 system back in the office. So in effect, Mobile2Sage is Sage on the go. Okay, so let's go and see if our exports are finished. And yes, those are finished. So what I'll now do is I'll switch over to my iPad system. And here's my iPad system. So on a daily basis, or as often as is required, what the user would do is they would then basically log into the settings area of that, and they would just basically either import one at a time, or they'll just say import all Sage data. And what that will do is it will go and look at the exports that we've just done and made available to the Mobile2Sage server, and it will then now go and bring the latest customers, nominals, departments, types of transactions that we want the user to do. It will also bring down products. Now within Sage 50 we have the ability to have products and also analysis fields, so those can then be captured within here and used in things like color matrix things. Having updated that, then we've also got the ability to have projects for things like timesheets, as well as costs, project types, resources, and the supplier details. And on top of all of that, what we can also do is also import things like images. So if I imported product images, it would go through and it'll then just download the images that I've made available for the various different products that I've got in Sage, and then those images can be used on various different documents like sales order acknowledgements, product invoices, and things like that. The methodology here is that if there are extra types of transactions that you require that data to be exported out of Sage, then the exports can be amended accordingly so that you can share just the information that you need with your users on the iPad. Okay, and there we go. Those are the images are done. So having done that, I can then just go and just have a quick look around. So if I go into customers, here's my customer list along with statuses straight off Sage. I can go into the customer record. I can go and have a look at their availability on Google. I can send them an email. I can have a look at their delivery addresses. I can look at their price lists. I can, having done all of that, I can then create orders and quotes for that particular customer. I can look at the product list along with images. And one thing that is also very powerful is the ability to share Sage reports. So here's my Sage reports, and let's say I want to have a look at the latest aged debtors, for example. That's the latest report from Sage. You will be familiar with that, and that shows me the client balances, so the sales rep can go and have a look at that before making the visit. Let's say the rep is also interested in knowing things like product availability, so this then shows them how much stock is in what quantity of stock is available and at what price today. And also for the executives, what we can do is share things like balance sheets and profit and losses. So this is the latest balance sheet and profit and loss from Sage, and that can then be shared with executives who need access to that. And the beauty of this is you're using the Sage reports. You're not having to buy another reporting tool and having to rewrite everything in that particular tool. These are just the bog standard Sage reports that that you've been using for years, and you can then just continue to use those, but just share them on an iPad. Okay, so what are the key benefits of Mobile2Sage? Well, it's very quick and easy to set up. It's very cost effective, and there's also a free trial. So I invite you to go and register, and you can then try this yourself on your own iPhone or iPad. It works with any version of Sage, so there's no need to upgrade. And it is a very powerful tool for sharing data with your staff, customers, suppliers, and stakeholders. It has a very powerful configurable engine, so it's commonly used for converting paper form business processes into custom apps. So if there are any that you feel you would like to automate, then please feel free to contact us and discuss your requirements. The Red IT video channel on YouTube has details of most of our key products, as well as lots of other YouTube videos of the Mobile2Sage product suite in particular. It's very quick and easy to create prototypes, so if you see anything that, if you don't see what you're looking for, then please feel free to call me or send me an email to discuss your requirements, and we can discuss that further. Thank you very much for your time and interest in Mobile2Sage, and I hope you found this presentation of how you can share and update Sage 50 data and reports with your users on the iPad of interest. And we very much look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.